ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. So from 5th July we have started our summer recess. We had a beautiful program, the whole day spiritual retreat on 4th of July at our Berkeley Center. And there were 6 Swamis, and from 5th we have our summer recess. But as revered Swami Ishtananda ji is here, we did not, or rather we want to utilize this opportunity to invite Maharaj to deliver some very important talk in this evening. So kindly Maharaj agreed, and today Maharaj is here. So the title of Maharaj's talk this evening is Sri Ramakrishna and Spiritual Life. So how Sri Ramakrishna influenced, or Sri Ramakrishna's teachings about spiritual life, probably those areas revered Maharaj will cover this evening. Revered Swami Ishtananda ji, he came in this country as the head of our San Diego Center in 2000. Then from San Diego, Maharaj was posted to St. Peterburg, Florida in 2007. Till then, Maharaj have been living and managing the center there. Before coming to this country, Maharaj officially joined in Belur Math Center, Belur Math, and then he was posted to a degree college of Ramakrishna order just next door to the Belur Math. It is called Ramakrishna Mission Vidya Mandir. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to serve as a monastic member at that college. And when I joined, Maharaj was there. I think few years after my joining there and before my joining, I had come across Maharaj at this center. Then Swami Ishtananda was posted to Cherrapunji Center as a head, and then he was posted to Along, Arunachal as a head, and from there he came to this country in 2000. So I have a long association with revered Maharaj, and I am really glad and consider myself privileged that Maharaj kindly accepted our invitation to attend and participate in our 4th of July spiritual retreat, and also he agreed to give a talk here on Sri Ramakrishna and spiritual life. Tomorrow morning Maharaj is leaving or returning to St. Petersburg. So voice, is the voice is clear or little louder? Can you please increase a little bit? The master. Hello, hello. Thank you. So I think I have to move a little bit towards the microphone. That is the secret. Okay. Thank you. So without much ado, I request revered Swami Ishtananda Ji Maharaj to deliver his talk, Sri Ramakrishna and Spiritual Life. Maharaj.
Any question, answer or anything?
Yeah.
Maybe. ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Dear brother Prasannatmananda Maharaj and my very dear devotees, this is a wonderful occasion, a wonderful opportunity for me to come and meet all of you, both at Berkeley Center on 4th and here tonight. And this time, a very special occasion of celebrating the Jagannath Mahaprabhu's Ratha Yatra back in India. This is a very, very great and auspicious occasion. At the same time, all of us, we should be always very, very happy and consider ourselves very, very fortunate. Those of us that we have come to know about Sri Ramakrishna and his entire entourage that he came with. Holy Mother, Swamiji, Raja Maharaj, all other great Swamis, and after them a plethora of great spiritual luminaries, saintly personality. At one point of time, for so many, a whole army of great spiritual personalities to arrive, be born, and radiate their spirituality all over the world for people to absorb and be benefited, that is not a small thing. And we are also very, very fortunate to be not to be born during the time when Sri Ramakrishna or Holy Mother or Swamiji or Raja Maharaj or those great ones were there, and not be born close to them. I think most of you must be very surprised to hear to me this kind of thing, because people say, oh, how wonderful it would have been, how unfortunate we are that we could not see them, could not be close to them, could not live near them. How fortunate those people must have been who were born then and lived nearby. And we missed that opportunity, and we are not that fortunate. There is a common ignorant sentiment like that. I say this ignorant sentiment. Why? Sri Ramakrishna himself has said that to be in the company of great spiritual personality and to not honor them appropriately, accordingly, not to have respectful attitude towards them is a great sinful act actually. Even without their knowing, inadvertently, people might commit sin outright and suffer on account of that they have done something painful to these wonderful, great spiritual personality. That they have become cause of some hurt to them. And how sensitive their minds were, we cannot imagine even. So to be very close to great spiritual luminaries and to come very close to someone who is God incarnate in human body, it is not free from risk taking, It is very risky. So and not to recognize them. At the time when Thakur was there, when Holy Mother was living in what abject poverty she had to live in the village after the passing away of Thakur for a quite long period of time, and even before that, and even after she was somewhat recognized and was supported, even then, what kind of life she was living? Not a very great, glorious, everybody worshipping her like we do in the temple, not like that. Surrounded by many people. Some of them family members, some of them just ignorant devotees, bhaktas, disciples, etc., etc. It was not a treatment to as we now pray and sing the glory, the mother of the universe has come in human form, not like that. So we should be very thankful to our good fortune that we have come, we are living in a time, in a safe distance, but at the same time still having the reverberation of that great big bang of spirituality that happened in Dakshineshwar, and as if we are still able to smell the fragrance of that wonderful flower garden that was there. So being in within a safe distance, but having all the good things that they have been in the meantime recognized and been explained and preached by many others about who Sri Ramakrishna was, who was Holy Mother, Swamiji, and many others, and many other aspects of their life, teaching, significance, many different things, that now it is available to us, which were not available when it was very close to the time when they were living. We should consider ourselves very fortunate. This is one thing that comes to my mind, that we should be feeling very happy and very fortunate that we are in the same, but at the same time that we have been drawn by his wonderful spiritual attraction. This is a case of having good fortune in all different ways possible. Now let us come to the main topic, Sri Ramakrishna and the spiritual life. When we think about Sri Ramakrishna, and I am sure that all of you are here, the followers, devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, when we think about Sri Ramakrishna, then what do we think about him? That he is the God incarnate in human body. That is Sri Ramakrishna. The God who had appeared in many earlier period of time of human civilization in different names and forms. It is the same power that had appeared in the name and form of Sri Ramakrishna there. And that is the definition of grace. When we think about God incarnate, then it is the grace of God that is suddenly falling on our head. It has come. And this grace that again allows people to come back to the main track. Whatever God in the Sri Krishna version, in Sri Krishna avatar had given in very precise and clear words that the purpose and the timing of the appearance of the Lord in human body, that is the God incarnate, his definition is about the reigniting the spiritual emotions in our heart, reigniting. Things have become cold and people have lost the track and the clue of the purpose of a human birth, and in the name of religion, whatever they are doing and whatever life they are leading, it is a kind of a shame and a wastage of their time. Perhaps they are going on a wrong and perhaps the reverse direction in the name of religion. It is then that the God comes back in human body to help people to come back again and find the right track. The examples he have given, one of them is very, very appropriate. Like there was a trek through a very thick forest through which many people had crossed the forest, but on account of not being used for a long period of time, again the shrubs and the forest covered the whole place, and it is all next to impossible to even again find out how you cross this forest through and what is the route. The trek is lost. Then there comes someone who has got the ability and is strong enough to cut all those shrubs and all those overgrowth of the forest branches to again rediscover the path. And after that, it becomes so easy, and thousands could now walk much easier and comfortably and safely and fast enough to cross the forest. So samsara, or this worldliness, our entire limitless life cycles through which an individual soul, the Jivatman, has to live through and pass through, this samsara has been given these two names. One is Sagar, this is the ocean. To cross the ocean as if this next to impossible. How you cross the ocean without the help of a boat. Even then it will take a very long period of time, and you need the direction and all these things, and safety is another concern. And another similarity is given with the aranya, samsara aranya. It is a forest. So when God incarnates in human body, it is a grace. This is a grace. People talk about grace. Why I am not receiving grace? And Lord, have grace on me. Shower grace. This is the grace. When God incarnates in human body, that is the grace. It is a spontaneous and unthinkable amount of pouring of grace on human society. That is what happens. That is Sri Ramakrishna. So he gave, when he came, he opened the channel once again, which was lost. Lost in the sense, not that there are no temples anymore, not that people are not going to practice some religion in their own particular ways, but it was misunderstood or without enough clarity or the right kind of goal understood, what they are going, reaching, how, and what is good, bad, right, wrong, many different things were confused. And that confusion had to be again removed and the right direction to be provided in a way that becomes easier and simpler and understood by the masses in their language. And that is what Sri Ramakrishna gave. So when we talk about the spiritual life after Sri Ramakrishna, it is about the clarity of religion, what religion is and how we live that religion. Now when we think about that, if we have to talk about what he gave to us, what he said about our spiritual life, then it is not very simple and easy. There will be so much to talk about, so many different aspects of this religion and religious life. Religion as a philosophy, as the scripture, as the understanding, and another is the practice side, how we apply that religion in our own life and what we do therefore. These two aspects, these two areas, what Sri Ramakrishna said and what he has demonstrated through his own life, it is not so easy to delineate in just very quick a few sentences or half an hour talk or whatever. It is not really possible. So let me just take up three things that appears to me very basic about what Sri Ramakrishna said regarding our spiritual life. Spiritual life begins with and also ends with what is known as faith. Faith is the starting point and also end. Rightly enough, many different religions, they talk about the faith. Faith is the most important thing and faith is everything. But the idea of faith, which must be there for a beginner in spiritual life, or as anybody who wants to just start this spiritual life, live a spiritual life. Faith is a starting point, but that faith is not the same as the faith which one achieves after the realization of the supreme truth of God, whichever form a person is pursuing the religious path. Dualistic, non-dualistic, qualified monistic, or any name you call it. But the faith is the end or this destination or the goal is also. After realization of that supreme truth, a person attains the faith which becomes unshakable, which after realization of truth only that faith can come, which becomes unshakable. But without faith, a person cannot start, even the first step cannot be begun. Nobody in this world, and we know that there is a whole lot of people in this world who are not considering themselves religious at all. There will be a large number of people who question about the authenticity of this concept of there is a God there and this world is under his supervision or administration, or there is a purpose of our life as a human being, or there is a destination to reach, or many, many different things that are the basic in a religious concept, there will be a large number of people in this world nowadays, they question about that, and they say that they are fine without believing anything, and that is. So religion cannot be started even without having faith. And we find that when God incarnates in human body, then the greatest help He gives to the human mind is restoring faith in God. This is the wonderful gift of a God incarnate. The religious life cannot begin without the basic faith. That basic faith, we can compare it with the yogurt culture you need to start. To make the whole pot of yogurt, you start with a little bit of yogurt, and that is necessary. So that little bit of culture, without which it will not start even. You cannot have just a pot of milk and it will turn into yogurt, it will not. Or cheese, for example. You need some kind of a seed to start with. Without that, nothing will happen. And that is the beginning, and that is a very, very important thing. And Sri Ramakrishna says that some people, they are fortunate enough and they are so very, because of their past many different births of karma, good karma, they are born with inborn faith in God. They are. But then there are many who don't come with that kind of good fortune, and for some reason or other, they feel a kind of a blockade in their mind that they don't believe in God. Or they say, what is the need of believing in God? Even during the time of Sri Ramakrishna, even good people, they need not be necessarily that they are not good people. They are good, very good, ethical, moral, helpful, kind, very nice people in the society. And everybody would love them and they will honor them, respect them. There will be plenty of these people, but they are not going anywhere in the form of religious progress. Spiritual progress is a very, very important aspect of human life. When we are born as a human being, we have got a very special opportunity. We have got a very special opportunity which has been explained by Shankaracharya in his writings. This opportunity of Manushyattvam, that as a human being we are born, not as any other creature, because the life is passing through many, many carriers, like vehicles. The Jivatman is traveling through many, many vehicles, and these are the different bodies, different kind of creatures. And at one point of time, when we get this human body, then this is a wonderful vehicle that can take us to a long, long distance in one birth. But if we don't know where we are going, what is the goal, what is the purpose of life, then there is a rudderless boat in the ocean, that kind of direction. It is not going anywhere. It is a wonderful ride. Sometime in the middle of the night, you have seen some young boys, they take a very fast moving car and go here and there and this. And then the cops are trying to stop them because they are running with all sorts of very high speed here and there in the middle of the night. It will be like that. You have got a wonderful vehicle, but you don't know where you are going, and you might crash also. So human body is like that. Human life is like that. You have got wonderful career only if you know where you are going and why. So religion gives us the purpose, and religion gives us the direction. Purpose is liberation of the soul. It is not that forever we shall be only going and going and going. No. Why we shall be going ever and ever, riding a vehicle? We have to reach somewhere, and the vehicle is only a support for that. So this birth of a human being is for the sake of realization of God or self-realization, and that is the destiny. Somebody has to help us to tell us. If it is not done, then perhaps like those 17, 18-year-old boys, we should be just middle of the night going nowhere, but just going. When God incarnates in human body, the wonderful life and the wonderful example and the irresistible spiritual influence that he spreads around himself. Irresistible spiritual influence. People who come near him, however atheistic minded they would be, or having many different kinds of questions in their head there would be, that gets suddenly cleared. Suddenly they find a light at the end of the tunnel. Suddenly their helplessness, which is subdued in their inner mind, that is removed. Suddenly they find a wonderful help here available. We find in the life story of all the great spiritual dignitaries, we call them God incarnate, in the life story of Sri Ramakrishna, many were there. Several were there. Girish Chandra Ghosh was one of those wonderful examples, who was helpless, who was radarless, very high class vehicle. He had all the wonderful qualities of brain and body. He was a really a heroic and wonderful person, but helpless. Coming under the influence of Sri Ramakrishna, just seeing him. Sri Ramakrishna came to watch his theatre, drama, Chaitanya Leela. Just seeing him, being a little bit close to this God man, this man. Influence was overwhelming, or as I mentioned, irresistible attraction. And that gradually transformed the person to a saintly person. So much so that he was offered a Gerua cloth by Thakur himself, and when after Swami Vivekananda returned back from America and Girish Ghosh came to see him, Swamiji honored him. He was saying, no, don't. But Swamiji told his disciples to make pranam to this man. He is not ordinary man anymore. He has become a saintly person. Many transformations have happened, coming in contact with Sri Ramakrishna even without their knowing. So Sri Ramakrishna, his presence, his life, and whatever he said and explained through those very simple worded teaching, preaching, he instilled the faith in God, or in the non-dualistic sense, faith in the self. That our life is not about, this is not a bundle of psychophysical things, only the flesh and bone and the skin and all these things, and we have to live a certain period of life, and there is a mind stuff that is working inside and the brain is functioning, and that's it. It is not like that. There is the divine spark within, to have faith in that, to identify that and be happy about, to explore, go further. This is the spiritual life, and this was installed by Sri Ramakrishna. When Sri Ramakrishna told people that Manus to man hus. That means about one's own inner true self, to have a hus or awareness. Awareness that let us start respecting our true self. That is the real thing, real. So Sri Ramakrishna, and through how many different kind of storytelling way, Sri Ramakrishna was known for his parables. Hundreds of parables. Now and then he will be serving to people in a very simple way, easy to understand, easy to digest, or take it in a fun way. Everybody laughs, everybody enjoys listening, or great truth of the scriptures, which is called sometimes hidden in the pages of scriptures, hidden in the sense that it is hard to crack the meaning. What do they say? What is the inherent message? That becomes so simple and easy and palatable, even enjoyable. That way Sri Ramakrishna is talking about. And we find this one lesson of having faith. Faith in God. God is real. God is real. Because for a person who has not realized God, how he or she will know that there is a God? It is all a hearsay. It is written in the book. It is only people are talking about it. How do I know? What is the proof? Everybody will ask about it. What is the proof? And easily say, no, I want a solid and tangible proof without which I am not going to accept it. So anybody can say like that. And how you convince such a person who will say that I won't accept anything without a solid proof? You say God is real, but show me the proof. Magic is not a proof. People can say, oh, here is the apple from the air. God is real. No, that is not a proof. Magicians can create hallucination, hypnotize people, create all sorts of things, make magical things happen. That is not a proof of anything. You cannot prove by that God is real. No amount of, these are in Hindu scriptures, they have clearly mentioned that all these things which are miraculous happening of the physical kind, like this physical universe is there, anything that appears to be miraculous here could be managed and controlled by yogic power. There are yogas are there, a particular kind of sangyama you do here and you get this power, you get sangyama there and you get that power, etc. The Patanjali Yoga Sutra in the Vibhuti Pada it has explained. So many things are possible. That is not the proof of God. God cannot be proven by any kind of physical proof. Physical things that is created out of matter, material of it, they cannot prove you that God is real and God does exist. Then how you start even? Where from to start? In Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna has mentioned to Arjuna, Sakale neha mahata yogo nasta parantapa. I have spoken this to the previous rishis and all this thing, and he's told to so and so, and this continued for a period of time, but in course of time, kalena iha mahata, because of the great passage of time, that wisdom, that knowledge, that truth that was handed over from generation to generation, it got lost. It happens. So therefore the God has to incarnate again, because He is the Parama Guru. He is the teacher of the supreme teacher. Only he is capable of giving this message that God is real. And only when it appears and it comes from his mouth, and only he has displayed and he has demonstrated the truth of God, then it becomes so very irresistible a proof that people have to accept it. It is an overwhelming kind of proof of the divine that appears with the appearance of God incarnate. And Sri Ramakrishna gave many examples. Sometimes we will talk about from Bhagavatam, some story of Madhusudan Dada, the boy Jatila. He is afraid to go to school and he had to pass through a very lonely place. His mother says that don't worry, just call your brother Madhusudan is there. You call him and he is there. You are not alone. And we know, all of you have read the story, that how this small boy cries out, "Where are you, brother Madhusudan? I am very afraid." And then Lord appeared in the form of a young man, older brother. I said, "Why are you afraid? I am here." And he took him by hand and to the school, and every day he started crossing the forest very easily. And mother said that nowadays you are okay going alone to the school. He said, "No, you told me that my brother is there and I go with him every day." So Sri Ramakrishna has taught, and this is just one example. Sri Ramakrishna has given a long list of many examples in which he said that you have got the faith in God like the simple faith of a child. A child's simple faith is the way a mind should be developed, without which the God's real grace or actual presence will not be felt. For feeling that presence, you need the faith of a simple child. And then there are many examples. He says that the faith will do miracles. He says that story of Vibhishana writing the name of Lord Rama, Om Rama he wrote, etc., and put it as a knot at the end of the cloth of a person who had to cross the ocean, and he was crossing easily, and then he thought that let me see what is written there and check me, and when he opened here and he saw, he said, "What? Only this much?" And as soon as his faith was reduced or doubted, he was drowned. This is the story goes in Ramayana. Many story ways Sri Ramakrishna has tried to inspire people's mind, but the real inspiration comes from the actual observation of the God incarnate in human body. The life story of Sri Ramakrishna is the best inspiration. And then from there, starting point, people can get the faith in God, having faith in God without any doubt anymore, no more question necessary, we can start. Second thing that we find about religious life in Sri Ramakrishna's life and teaching is about his solving this riddle or the question, the complex question of what kind of devotee we shall be. Sri Ramakrishna had two kinds of devotees. One was like Ramchandra Datta kind of devotees, who will say that we don't have to do anything because we have seen Lord himself and that's it. That's it. We are done with our spiritual practices. We don't have to do any more spiritual practices. We have seen the Lord. That was one kind of devotee. Another kind of devotees were like Narendranath. He would, time to time, he would go here, there, he is going, suddenly he is missing. He has gone to Bodh Gaya, and he did a lot of meditation there, and then he comes back. Another time he goes somewhere. Sometime he will inspire his other brother monks. Let us do meditation whole night under this Panchavati, etc., etc. So he is not rested, or he is happy or satisfied about anything, though he was being fully graced, protected, loved by no other than the God incarnate himself. All the blessings were on his head, but he was not giving up and not resting. He had to keep trying, keep doing. He had to get everything. Until then he is not stopping. This is the two kinds of devotee that Sri Ramakrishna has explained. One he says that the one is baby monkey kind, another is kitten kind of devotee. The kitten kind of devotee, they don't care about anything and they don't know anything, and therefore they just keep waiting for the mother to do everything that is necessary for it, and it only can say meow meow, that's it. And the baby monkey kind of a devotee, it will hold on to its mother for life. And mother will not hold the baby. Mother is jumping from this branch to that branch of the tree, and the baby knows very well that if his hand slips a little bit and he falls, then his body will be crushed, he will die. So baby monkey is one kind of a devotee who is continuously and ceaselessly throughout his or her life will do his best in the spiritual practice and prayer and everything. All the austerities that is known to such a devotee, he will perform, and he will not give up. He will do everything, each and everything, and continuously do. This is one. Another is those who say, we are Lord's devotee, we have taken initiation, and now I don't have to, my guru will do everything for me. I don't need to care a lot because I am fully protected. And that is one kind of a devotee. They will say grace. They will say that is it not mentioned in the great scriptures like Bhagavatam that without the will of God, not even a leaf of a tree can move? Is it not written there? So what can I do? There is no free will there. There is no free will. Everything depends on God's will. God willing, things will happen. It is not in my hand, it is not in anybody's hand. So it is only God's will that will make it happen. God vision, realization of God and everything, it is God's will, depends on God's will. We are only waiting for God's grace. So there will be one kind of mind, they will say like that. And as I mentioned, great devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, there were some such, like Ramchandra Datta was very famous of this group. Sri Ramakrishna came and he solved this riddle. He solved this riddle because this was from the scripture like Bhagavatam and other places. If you read the Upanishad, then they will say you have to do great tapasya and all these things. And if you read Bhagavatam and other bhakti books on devotion, then you will say, no, you have to just depend on God's grace. If you read the Yoga Sutra, they will say, no, you have to do Sama, Dhamma, Uparati, Tidiksha, everything, and Sama has got 5 more, Ahimsa, Satyasthya, Brahmacharya, Parigraha, and Dhamma has more 5, and all these disciplines are important and you have to do it to the perfection without which you are not going anywhere, getting anything. They say, and then there are the other devotional books, just pray on God. Chanting God's name only once will cross you through the ocean of samsara. Just chant His name lovingly once. His grace will save you. Now, these are contrasting messages. Sri Ramakrishna came and he solved this riddle, very difficult situation, how to solve these two different groups. Both have got their strong arguments supported by scriptures. Sri Ramakrishna and later on Swami Vivekananda, they pointed out that are you really a kitten kind of a devotee, fully dependent on God's will? That mother cat will come and put you here, put you there, and you are waiting, or you are just helpless and you do nothing. You don't have any free will because there is no free will, only God's will. Is it so? If that is true, then how do you live your life? If we look back in our day-to-day life, each and everything we do according to our will. Each and every small, so in the morning you get up and do everything, all the steps you take to get ready, to go somewhere, do your work, plan your everything for this day, for the week, for the month, for the year, for many years. You do everything according to your planning. You don't wait for God's will to happen. Who does it? You select which model of car you are going to buy. You don't wait for, okay, let me God appear and tell me whether I am buying Prius or Tesla. No, God doesn't say. You do it. For everything, you are deciding, your life, you are managing. Only in matter of spiritual practices that will lead you to God realization or your self-realization or the liberation of the soul. Only for that it is God's grace, God's will. Nothing happens without God's will. There is no free will, etc. Is it so? That is not true. Swamiji has explained later on in his lectures that everything is one united, homogeneous. You cannot break it. Your body, mind, system, your life, your emotion, your spiritual thinking, your inner make, purity, impurity, whatever it is. It is one homogeneous thing. It is not like when I go to work, only this part working. When I go to the temple, that part only. This is not happening. With the same mind you are doing everything. It is a one continuous, homogeneous life you are living at any point of time. Either you are wholly dependent on God's will, it is not that it is not possible, but either you are like that or you are deciding about yourself, everything. It is not that opportunistically you shift the gear. Now I am dependent on God about my spiritual life. If God wills, then I will go to do pilgrimage. If God wills. Rest of the thing I will plan for myself. This is not going to happen. This is like cheating one's own self. Sri Ramakrishna said, Bhaver ghare churi. In Bengali, he said that you should not steal your own thoughts, your own ideas. You be a thief in your own. You are having one kind of thought and you are now having different kind of, and thinking that the other thought is not understanding or catching me here. It is not going to happen. So how he solved this problem? this intriguing question, whether it is God's will or it is my will about the spiritual life. Sri Ramakrishna says there is no such thing that there is no God's will and there is no God's grace. It is there. There is continuously God's grace is good. As I mentioned, appearance of God in a human body is the greatest of the grace, like a flooding of the whole earth with the blessing and the grace of the divine. Now, are you willing to receive it? That is another question. And this is what he gave this way. He said that the wind of God's grace is always blowing, and like a sailboat, you are on the water. If you want to move with the help of that wind, then you have to unfurl the sails. Sails of your boat is there, but it is not unfurled. You have to, furl it. It is tied and it is not working. You have to unfurl it. You have to unfurl it, and that is your responsibility. If you want to get the wind into your sail, then you have to work hard for that. So spiritual practices, which is nothing other than purification of your inner self, your mind stuff and everything, which is a admixture of sattvic, rajasic and tamasic aspect in them. All the spiritual practices, all the austerities, all the continuous whole lifelong your prayers, everything, they are doing this job. Bit by bit they are transforming your inner self, and you are becoming a better and superior and a purer and a more sattvic kind of a personality, in which you shall be receiving the grace of God in the form of a clarity in your mind and more love for God and taste in having spiritual life. Otherwise, spiritual life would appear tasteless in the beginning, when it is not that pure mind and heart inside. So all your effort is necessary. Without that effort put there, you are not able to receive the grace of God. Grace of God is there. You don't have to even ask for it. It is without asking, it has been given. In the form of when God appears in human body, already the grace is flowing in a very big way. This is the point number 2 that I would like to suggest to think about it. The grace of God. The grace of God, which a person who can completely surrender oneself in the hands of the divine and doesn't care for himself or doesn't do anything to protect oneself, God will take care of him, that person. It has been written in Bhagavad Gita, it has been written in Bhagavatam, it has been spoken by Sri Ramakrishna, it has been demonstrated in their lives. How many times in Sri Ramakrishna's life he has found things that were necessary for him to do certain things. He wanted to do some sadhana, he wanted to see some people, and they happened to automatically and spontaneously come to him. He did not go anywhere to him. So this is called that you don't have to do anything, God will do for you, and that happens to a person who has transformed himself so much that he is not doing anything for himself. He is not doing anything for himself, then God will do for himself. So this is very much visible in the life story of great spiritual personality. Why Sri Ramakrishna? His many disciples, even disciples of the disciples. Even now we hear of great Swamis of our order who had miraculously received the kind of help that they needed dearly in their work of the order or any kind of service activity. Miraculously exact amount of help that they needed, that suddenly from, as if from nowhere, it came. And I personally have heard incidents of some such miracle things happening from the Swamis, senior Swamis, in their life story. So what to talk about Sri Ramakrishna or Holy Mother or Swami? Swami Vivekananda, he was traveling by train when he was like a mendicant monk, wandering monk, and then he was very hungry and thirsty. And a family was sitting next opposite bench, and they were eating and drinking, and they were not very sympathetic to a wandering monk. Under the influence of the colonial rulers and missionaries, they thought that these vagabond monks, they are a kind of parasite on the society. So they were also of the idea, and Swamiji did not mind. They were talking all sorts of nonsense, even they were insulting Swamiji. Those days Swamiji was not known to people, but they had that kind of mindset. Then, to their surprise, our next station, as all of them deboarded the train and they were on the platform, and platform was an old time, very small platform, and there were some trees and little bit branches and benches and all, and Swamiji was sitting in one place. Suddenly a man came from outside the station, and with him came his helper or servant, carrying something on his head. And they were looking here and there, and then seeing that Swamiji sitting at the end point of that platform, came near him, bowed down to him, and offered all the things they were carrying, the food for Swami. And Swami said, but why are you giving me? I don't know you, and who are you? And they said, no, you cannot know me. I am just a poor man. I have got a little sweetmeat shop here near the station outside, and I was taking a nap after my lunch, and Lord Rama appeared to me, and he asked me to find you and feed you. And that's why I quickly made something and I am coming. He said, no, you might have mistaken for somebody. No, Lord Rama appeared and he showed you to me, and I am not mistaken. And the other family who were making very insulting remarks, etc., about the vagabond monks, like these beggars, they are the worthless people of the society, etc., living on others' earning, this kind of thing, they were totally astonished, and they came, they fell at the Swamiji's feet and asked his pardon, etc. We find from the life story of Swami Vivekananda. And this is not one occasion. There have been several occasions in the story of not just Swamiji, several others also. So it is true that God's grace just spontaneously, without asking, it is coming to people who are like kitten. Kitten means they completely have surrendered themselves in the hands of the Lord. Lord's will only can move them. They are not planning their own anything. When Swamiji came to this country, how the story goes, when he went to Tamil Nadu, those days Madras, and people were collecting fund to send him to, and he said, no, I don't know. I have not been asked by God or my Lord, I don't know. So they said, but we have already collected some money. He said, we'll give it to the poor people. Distribute it to poor people. I don't need the money. Until and unless the will of God is very clear and visible to him, he is not going to do anything. There are wonderful stories in the life story of Swami Brahmananda also, that he is waiting and after 2-3 days, suddenly he said, okay, now you come and I'll give you initiation. And he said, sir, I have been waiting for 2-3 days, why you made me wait for? He said that I was not seeing Thakur come and tell me first whether to do this or not. That's why I was waiting. He said, so you are doing always all this, giving initiation only after Thakur appears to you and tells you? He said, yes, what else? Now those kind of thing, those kind of life, only they are fit to say that not even a single leaf of the tree will move without the will of God. God's will, thy will be done, my Lord. I am only an instrument in your hands and you do whatever you want to do with me. Only they can say. Rest of the people who have no clue and who have no such feeling, and they cannot wait for God's will, they have to plan their own life. Otherwise they think that it is very risky to not plan my own life. For them it is not. We have to prepare ourselves to be the right kind of recipient for greater and superior kind of God's grace. Already we have got God's grace. As I mentioned, God appeared in human body. We have heard about him. We have been attracted to his name and his wonderful story. And we are already started little bit of loving him. This is a wonderful grace. But we have to start from there and move forward. So how do we move forward? This is the third and the last point I will say before I close. What was the practical suggestion that Sri Ramakrishna gave to people to live their spiritual life? Of course, you have got somebody is on the path of devotion, somebody is worshipping Krishna, somebody is worshipping Ganesha, somebody is Lord Shiva, Mother Kali, anything, or the formless Brahman meditating upon, etc., etc. That is I am not talking about. I am talking about living our life on a day-to-day basis. The practice of religion every moment in the light of Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. What could be that? Now we know and we always talk about that Sri Ramakrishna was the prophet of harmony, of many different kinds of harmony. Not only it was the harmony of religions, that he spoke in his simple Bengali word, Jato Mat, Tato Path, as many ways, so many paths to reach the same goal. Ruchi nam vaicitrat rijukutila nana pathajusam ninam eko gamya tomasi paisam arnavaiva. From the Shiva Mahimna Stotra or other many different places, that Lord, you are the only one place or only goal or only one end of all the souls. Maybe they are walking through many different paths, but eventually they will reach you. It doesn't matter which path they take, all paths will reach you, the one goal. This is what Sri Ramakrishna has taught to this present day world in a very major way, very powerful way. So we find that he practiced in his own life many different religious ways to realize the truth of God and realize the truth of it. Many different ways. And so he came back and he preached that, he told everybody that that is what I have realized and this is real. So don't be confused. You walk your own path and you will reach the same goal. So he had the highest and wonderful, supportive, respectful attitude towards all the different paths. So within the Vedantic system of Sanatana Dharma, there are these three major divisions. Dualistic, that is Dvaita, qualified monist or Vishishtadvaita of Ramanujacharya, and Advaita or the non-dualistic path. These are the three different kinds of paths or attitudes that according to suitability people will choose and they will walk on those paths to realize the supreme truth. I am not going there. When Sri Ramakrishna came, there were much conflict between these different paths. Each of them would be considering others to be inferior to them, and they would say that no, ours is the supreme one, that is the last and the highest. Rest of them, they are the only on the way to our path. You walk those. People were talking also thing, but Sri Ramakrishna came to this conclusion that these are not that this is higher, that is to lower or inferior. This is not. And then he taught his disciple Swami Vivekananda Narendranath, who was also in the idea of that non-dual truth of Advaita is the supreme knowledge, and that is where you end. And not only him, the guru of Sri Ramakrishna, in monastic guru, who was on the path of non-dual Advaita, who was a jnani on the path of knowledge, Totapuri, he was also in the same opinion. So those who were at the path of the non-dualism, they were thinking that that is the end. Sri Ramakrishna explained to Narendranath that after reaching this non-dual experience, which is known as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in that Samadhi, after realization of that non-dual truth, a person should be moving further and not stop there. And after that, he should realize that until then, whatever was considered as manifold or differentiated and not unified and one homogeneous non-dual existence realization, that manifold should be realized as nothing other than the many different forms of the same non-dual truth. So the many is not many in the ignorant way. Many becomes many in the knowledge of non-dual. This is the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, which is so exceptional, and it is a new explanation of the Vedanta. Scripture remains same, but commentary changes. According to the commentary, according to the commentator, we call it by different names of philosophical schools. So Sri Ramakrishna gave this explanation that after realization of non-dual, you go forward and realize that whatever you thought as dualistic experience, that dualism is only another appearance or another form of non-dual. God has appeared in many different forms. So you can, on one hand, treat them as many different forms, many, but at the other hand, you can treat them as it is same God it is. It is not other than that God. It is that one Brahman who has appeared in many. And then Swami Vivekananda picked up that message in the most profound way, and then he taught it everywhere, which we call it nowadays as practical Vedanta, which is the application of Vedanta in our day-to-day life. That you treat everybody everywhere as a living God and nothing less than that. When you are serving a poor man, when you are nursing a sick person, when you are helping somebody helpless somewhere, it is only you are worshipping the divine, and it is not that you are just dealing with some person. This is a new kind of outlook, new kind of attitude, which is the highest spiritual practice of Vedanta in our day-to-day life. One old lady came to Sri Ramakrishna. She was a widow and she was doing her spiritual practices. She complained to Sri Ramakrishna that I cannot meditate on God. I am doing puja and all these things, but as soon as I close my eyes and try to meditate on God in my heart, I cannot. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, why? Why you cannot meditate? What is the problem? She said that I live with my brother's family there. She was a widow. Their small child is there, and that child is so very close to my heart. The child is always playing with me and I love the child so much. I am so attached to this boy that I close my eyes and I am meditating on that boy. I cannot meditate on Lord Krishna anymore, so I am helpless. Sri Ramakrishna says, no problem. It is not a problem at all. He said that, let me tell you one thing. It is God who has taken all these different forms. This boy whom you think that it is your nephew, it is not a boy. It is God. Lord Krishna is playing with you in the name and form of that boy. Henceforth, you take full care of that boy, treat him nicely, but in your mind, always have this strong belief and faith that it is Lord Krishna. Okay? Go now. And that lady, within very short period of time, became a spiritually much improved and a almost realized person. Her spiritual life improved tremendously by this practice. Swami Vivekananda came and he spread this knowledge of applying Advaita, non-dual Vedanta in our practical life. We live with people, we have got our family members, we have got people in the office, everywhere in the society. Let us start having a refined mindset. Not that you have to suddenly be very soft and very kind and not be practical in your dealing with people. No, not like that. It is about having your inner attitude thoroughly revised and reminded yourself continuously that it is the divine who has appeared in many different names and forms and even family members, and they are taking my service, my worship, and I am worshipping the Lord in many different forms. This is not human being, they are animal or any other creature. It is God Himself who is doing His Leela all around me. This awareness. And with this awareness, if we live our life, then our life will be way more improved and spiritually benefited. So we will be purified from inside, and this is Sri Ramakrishna's teaching. It is not Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was taught by Sri Ramakrishna that it is not a poor man you are doing kindness, showing kindness. It is the Lord Shiva himself who is taking your worship when you help a poor man. You are worshipping Lord Shiva there. So this was Sri Ramakrishna taught something. And Swamiji has spread it all over the world. It is the application of non-dual Advaita Vedanta in our day-to-day life, and it is a harmony of dualism, non-dualism and qualified monism in one package. This is a wonderful part of our how Sri Ramakrishna help us in our spiritual life. So I think I spoke a whole lot, but these are the 3 points. And we can get up in the morning and we can say to the Lord with our prayer that, Lord, whatever body, mind, energy, thinking you have provided to me, I want to serve you, worship you this whole day. Please help me, hold my hands, and I am helpless. I am not yet a saintly person to realize the truth of all these things, but let me do this thing, worship you in your manifold ways, and in the night time when you go to bed, you again pray to the Lord that with my this very insignificant, ignorant and inefficient body, mind, senses and understanding, whatever I could do, I have tried to do, and this is only my worship to you, my Lord. Please accept it and be kind and merciful on me. If we keep doing it, live our life like that, then we are following the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and let me say my peace chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. খুব লম্বা হয়ে গেল খুব লম্বা হয়ে গেল
It is okay, Maharaj. The subject is very vast, and Maharaj elaborated it in its own way. So it is almost 1.5 hours Swamiji spoke. I don't know whether you felt it or not, but it is 1.5 hours. So I shall complete. Let me convey my thanks, gratitude and pranam to revered Maharaj once again, because Maharaj has accepted this invitation and he has come and he delivered this beautiful talk, elaborated it. You know, we all have studied Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, but reminding these things again and again, Sri Ramakrishna himself did it, reminded it in different ways again and again. It helps us. So that is what Maharaj did in 3 important points, and Maharaj also elaborated the practical application of those teachings. But 2 things I would like to mention within 5 minutes. The first thing is this. We know Swami Vivekananda was the follower of Advaita. It is a general notion. But if you go through the inspired talks where Swami Vivekananda took the challenges to make some of his disciples a yogi. He said himself, I want to make some yogis out of these raw materials in Thousand Island Park. If you go through the teachings of Swami Vivekananda in Thousand Island Park, you will find again and again Swami Vivekananda gave emphasis on avatar, the incarnation. Incarnation, the concept of incarnation is required for Advaitins, for Dvaitins, those who are following the non-dual and dual. It is a completely wrong notion that in non-dualism there is no concept of avatar. This is first point. The second point is this: is it true? Swami Vivekananda raised this question. In Christianity, the question was raised that is it true that God, we don't know God, we don't have any conception of God, that God takes the human form? How it can be? Swami Vivekananda said in the same Inspired Talks that word, the 5 sentences, the first 5 sentences of the Bible is the gist of Christianity. What is the 5 sentences? Word was God. How can the Word takes the form of human form with blood and fleshes? Is it true? The God incarnates like a human being with flesh and blood? It is. How? In Christianity, according to Christianity, what Swamiji, what Maharaj has already mentioned, out of love. Only one thing, out of love. In Christian theology, it is called agape. And this love, in turn, according to God, the human being show to the fellow being. Man loves for man and God's love for man. These are the 2 types of loves in Christianity. And out of this love, God sacrifices. If you go through the life of Jesus, you can find Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross. The whole episode is this: Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross for the good of the humanity. For good of the humanity, and out of love, God takes form of the human being. Christianity. Now what about Indian philosophy? Indian philosophy says the same thing. Go to the Purusha Suktam. In Purusha Suktam, that is the most ancient Suktam. So, it is in the Upanishad, in Rig Veda, and it is non-dual. So, in non-dual also, we find the concept of incarnation. In Purusha Suktam, it is said that God, the Brahma, sacrificed himself on the fire. So in the sacrificial fire, the Purusha sacrificed himself, and out of that, sun, stars, all these came out. So the creation took place by the sacrifice of Brahman, by the sacrifice of God. And again, by the sacrifice, then in turn, the next sacrifice comes. See, the God is transcendental. Sacrifice of God, immanent thing came out. The stars, the moon, the sun, these are immanent, we can see that. So out of sacrifice, transcendent came into immanent. Then again God sacrificed, and the lower things. So in this way, out of 3 or 4 stages of sacrifice, God takes the form of human being as avatara. And why avatara has to be followed? as Maharaj said, because there is no tinge of egotism in Avatara. God's will and Avatara's will become identified. So Avatara's acts like an open channel. Maharaj elaborated number of times the grace. How we can receive the grace? Through Avatara. Because Avatara's acts like an open channel and grace come through them. So God's grace comes through Avatara to the normal general human being. That is the way. Because the obstruction is not there in Avatara. Avataras are completely egoless. That is why no obstruction. They can feel grace and they can transport grace to the normal general human being. So, to realization of God, the Son of God is required. For realization of God, avatars or incarnation is required. That was the point Swami Vivekananda emphasized again and again in Thousand Island Park in his teachings to the inspired talk. And what Swamiji presented, Swami Ishtananda ji presented before you this important truth. That is why Sri Ramakrishna is important in our spiritual life and we should follow Sri Ramakrishna. Thank you once again to you. Because of this very short notice, you have come. We did not have any plan beforehand to organize this kind of talks, but however, I am thankful to you because you have showed up and make this lecture fruitful and effective. Thank you very much. 2-3 announcements. The first announcement is this: we have summer recess, but we would continue the Ramnam. What we do, today is the first Sunday. So generally, in every first Sunday of the month, we do the Ramnam here. But today is the first Sunday. We did not do that. So next Sunday, we will do the Ramnam here. And the second announcement is 27th and 28th July we have the meditation workshop here from 10:30 to 4:30. So those who are interested, the seat is very limited. So those who are interested, you have to register online through our website. But those who have already attended, please don't apply because perhaps we cannot provide you because of this short space. And the last one is this: 2025 will be the 125th anniversary of Swami Vivekananda's visit to the Bay Area. Those who are living in the Bay Area, they are fortunate that 125 years ago Swami Vivekananda visited this Bay Area. Not only that, we are fortunate that in San Jose, 2 direct disciples of Swami Vivekananda left their footprint in San Jose. One, Swami Turiyanandaji Maharaj. From here only he went to Shanti Ashrama from San Jose. So, and the second, Swami Abhedanandaji, he stayed in San Jose 2 nights. So, Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciples' footprint is there in San Jose. Above all, 125 years ago, Swami Vivekananda visited Bay Area. So we are planning to celebrate 1 year, a year-long celebration to commemorate Swami Vivekananda. I appeal and I request you all, please participate to offer your respect to Swami Vivekananda. Contact us and we are planning in a mega way every nook and corner. Nobody will be left. Everybody will participate in this program in any way to show the respect to Swami Vivekananda. Thank you very much again for your participation. Prasad will be served here. Please be seated. The prasad will be served by our volunteers. Thank you.